Welcome to this Scourge of War Chancellorsville gameplay video. Well, I'm calling it a gameplay video, but what I intend to do is to do the first 4 tutorials over 4 videos and one of the scenarios, hopefully. Depends how busy I get. Now, this is the 4th game in the series. The first one was called Take Command. The second one was called Take Command Second Manassas. The third one, Scourge of War Gettysburg, and now Scourge of War Chancellorsville. Now, just to say very quickly that if you already have Scourge of War Gettysburg, this will by default be installed as effectively an extra module of Scourge of War Gettysburg. But this is an independent game. You do not need Gettysburg to run this. Okay, now this is a war game. It's a real-time war game, not a real-time strategy game. I think you need to distinguish between the two. So there's no abstraction of units and what they do, and you have full control of your visual view. Okay, so let's get on and do the first tutorial, which is Introduction to Infantry. You can see down here a whole list of all the scenarios, etc., that you get with Chancellorsville, and down here in the bottom left corner it gives you a brief description of what you'll be up to. Anyway, like I say, let's just get started. I have done this scenario once or twice before doing this video, I must admit. I'm sort of glad I did, because there was a little bit of a quirk in this mission, at least, which threw me slightly, but I'll describe that when we get to that point. Now, the graphics, you might, when you see them, think, oh goodness, they look crude and old. But it's all sprite based. It's trying to have as many men on the screen as possible. And it's a war game, and if you're into war games, you do tend to have a little bit of flexibility on the graphical quality, because it's the gameplay and how it actually runs that's most important. Okay, so we come up with a courier message, and just quickly going through this. Headquarters, 1st Division, Wadsworth, Guilford Station, Virginia, 9 AM, March 26, 1863. General Cutler, that's Cutler, not Custer, you are hereby appointed to command of the 2nd Brigade, 1st Division, 1st Army Corps. Your command consists of these infantry regiments. Let's just scroll down a bit. The 76th New York, the 84th New York, 95th New York, the 147th New York, and the 56th Pennsylvania. Sorry about that. And it's got the commanders of each of those regiments. And it just says, by command of Major General Hooker Daniel Butterfield, Major General and Chief of Staff. Okay, so we just press the close button here. Okay, so here's our unit, and it comes up with information on what it wants us to do. So, just to go through briefly, rather than reading the whole thing out, it's just talking about learning the basics of moving the camera and your character around. Goes through and shows us the different commands, S, A, D, Q, E and Z, etc, spacebar and shift, and the mouse commands. If you get turned around and are not sure where your character is, click on the Go to Me button, that's here, down here. the camera will be moved to directly above your character, which will now be selected. Okay, so let's do this. So this is our character, and as you can see, what we have down here is it tells us who we are. But anyway, let's get on and do the cameras. A, S, D, W, Q and E, you saw. And it's done it before I've done the rest of the commands, which is a bit annoying, but you know, it's just the standard camera movement commands. Okay, so the next part is moving yourself around on the battlefield. This is done by double clicking the cursor on the ground, and it's the left mouse button where you want your commander to end up. To add waypoints, hold down the control key and double click. Okay, so that's the end marker that you'll see, our flag, and it also says about wheeling left and wheeling right commands, which you can see down here. Default speed, and this button here is the toggles to speed up, and you've got the halt button for everyone, and also your leader unit yourself. Try moving General Cutler around the battlefield and get used to these buttons. You'll be using them a lot in the battles to come. When you are done practicing, move General Cutler under the objective symbol floating in the sky to activate the next lesson. Okay, so let's have a look where that location is. I'm just scanning around. There we are. And there I am. So what we'll do, and there I don't suppose you can see it very well. Whoops. But there's a little yellow marker showing the actual location on the ground. So if we do a double left click, and then we can actually wheel that arrow slightly down, around to the left. Because I'm not bothered about moving around all over the place, because it's fairly basic stuff. Here he comes. Just to show you the go to me command, see, it takes us directly. Okay, so here is one of your infantry regiments, the 76th New York. When you click on the flag of a unit or commander, the display changes to show information and commands for that unit. Blah blah blah. Okay, an individual regiment can be placed in several different formations, which we'll go over. It's showing us the line, division, column and skirmish, and they're all down here. Then in line formation it shows us the different commands you can, sub-commands you can do on here for manoeuvring, which we'll go through. So there we are, and this is the location map for our infantry unit, which you can just see coming through the trees. Now what I'm going to do is to turn off all the trees, etc., so it's far easier to see what's going on. Now this is a bit quirky, so bear with me. There we go. Okay, so rather than spending loads of time, I'm going to speed up slightly, but let's wheel them around. You can see as I'm clicking the right wheel button, the arrow pointer moved. Now if I want them to hurry up, double click. Now there is a increased speed of the game buttons, which is basically the plus equal button to speed up and the minus button to return to normal speed. So click on our guy, so you can see he comes up. Let's go back to the unit down here first of all. You've got various bits of information: who they are, who they're part of, how many men, casualties, etc. And over here you've got markers: unit resting, defensive terrain bonus, and commander bonus because it's close by. Here you've got the direction they're facing and the type of terrain, the time, which is always there. You've got the type of weapons and the amount of ammunition they've got, morale, and fatigue level. As you can see, it says they're rested. So anyway, we click on our commander, and let's just go through some of them, and let's increase the speed. Okay, so that's line. Column by division. I won't do column by regiments in line because we need 2 or 3 of those. Skirmish, which doesn't really show a skirmish line. Do line. Okay, now the other 4 commands it wanted us to do was left flank, and as you can see, everyone moves slightly over to the left. Right flank, everyone moves slightly over to the right, which is useful for refining your positioning. Oblique left means they'll move slightly over into that direction, and oblique right. So it's like a flanking command, but you're doing it also slightly diagonally forward. Okay, so let's just return to normal command because we will run out of time, and then it stops us completing the whole mission. Now you can see up here you've got combat, movement buttons, which we'll stick to, and orders, which we won't be doing in this tutorial. Anyway, so we're with our Brigadier, so if we left click here and click the column button, you can see the other arrow appeared for our regiment. So let's just speed up the operation. Now I do apologise if you're seeing any red numbers up in the top left hand corner or the centre. I've got a new version of my recording software, and I haven't quite got it configured exactly the way I wanted it, but I wanted to get on and do a video because I hadn't done one for a long time. Okay, so we've done that. So command movement of more than 1 regiment. Here are 2 more regiments in your brigade. These are the 84th New York and the 95th New York. Now, select General Cutler and click on the line formation button. Note that the state flags appear to mark the destination positions of the individual regiments. Also try column. When you've done practicing, move General Cutler and all 3 regiments under the objective symbol floating in the sky to activate the next lesson. It will take the general and all 3 regiments to activate it. Now this is where we get to the funny point, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so if we close this, and first of all, if we hit the column, you can see the extra 2 regiment markers are here. Now, here's 1 regiment, and we cannot see the other one. That's where our final destination will be. So anyway, let's do the the line command, and I'll show you what's happened to the other one. So let's speed that up slightly. You can see they're moving out into a complete line formation. And there's the other marker for the other regiment, which we don't appear to have. And I will show you why. And introduce you to a couple of other commands at the same time. Now down here, next to the Go To Me, is the map button, or you can press M, which I tend to use. Now the eyeball down here, as it says, is current location. You can see the marker here for our final destination and where the troops that we're seeing are located. But you can see way over here is the other regiment we're after, and they are very, very far away. And if we wait for them to turn up, we will run out of time on this tutorial and won't be able to do all the commands it's going to show us. But just to show you, because we will meet up with them towards the end, so I'm not too sure whether that was intended or not, but considering we're meant to have them in our formation, it does seem to be a little bit of a bug in the tutorial. Anyway, if we left click on the map, you can see we're now at that location. Just come up, and there's our wayward little regiment. And what we're going to do is we're going to just leave them to get on with it. And as I said, we will meet up with them again. So if I just do the Go To Me, and there we have our commander. Okay, so let's just turn everybody to column, and let's just go to the location. Now it will show you how to move on the roads, etc. But that's to come. So anyway, let's left click on here. So that's our commander coming, and as you can see, the two markers way over there, or three markers, sorry, for the three regiments are still over there, and that's because we've only effectively commanded our commander to come over here. To get them all to come over here, we have to use one of the formation buttons. So if we just do column, you can see they're starting to move towards us. Now we can have them moving a bit faster, and let's just speed up the game as well. Over there it's a dry riverbed. You can see the little markers above them as well, which shows that they are under the command of our Brigadier General. Okay, so other formations. Here are two more regiments, the 147th New York and the 56th Pennsylvania. With these regiments you have additional options for formations. So it wants us to try the double line and the skirmish. The skirmishing unit will locate enemy units and allow the rest of the brigade time to respond. When you are done practicing, move General Cutler and all 5 regiments under the objective symbol floating in the sky to activate the next lesson. So as you can see, here come the other 2 regiments, and their final destinations are there, but I'm going to change that by hitting the column button to be next to me. Okay, so let's turn the speed down. So double line, and as you can see, it's set up 4 positions for 4 regiments. You've got the commander at the front, and the 5th regiment is way over here on the left. So just speed that up. And that is the location of where our wayward regiment should be. Now, just to show you a couple of other things now. Well, one thing. Order of battle, this little button down here. If you click on that, you've got your Brigadier General marked up. You can see all the subordinate units, as it says, under him. Tells you his condition, etc. And our wayward unit, the 7th Indiana, are still moving. So what we can do is we can click on them, and then it gives that regiment's details, giving us ammunition, etc, etc. And we can also close this button here, close and go to unit. So if you wanted to find out where someone was in particular, and we can hit the M button as always. And you can see they were over here when we started, and they're still moving pretty slowly. So let's do the go to me. Just starting to finish off getting in position. Normally when I play this game in battle mode, I wouldn't do the fast forward. I tend to, I suppose I'm rather sad, move at normal speed even when it's a long way to get to the destination. And I have been known to go off and get a cup of coffee, etc. Anyway, the other command was skirmish mode, so let's show that. See what it wanted us to show. And as you can see, the markers for the positions of the different regiments are shown, and they're moving off. And the one in the far distance up here is for the skirmish unit. And I think that's the actually the 7th Indiana, which we don't have with us. I'm not going to go through all the detached regiments, etc. Yeah. So all we've got is a line and the 7th Indiana. But we will see what a skirmish looks like in a little while. Okay, so right, so let's get everybody back into column formation, and we've basically finished that. So over on this position, we just double click. I know this doesn't seem to be very exciting in the tutorial. Put my teeth back in. This tutorial maybe isn't very exciting, but you need to know the basics. So we click on column, and that's the other thing, that the repetition of it gets it into your mind what you have to do in the commands. I have to say, although it was rather cluttered, I do prefer the UE user interface from the first 2 games. Take Command and Take Command Second Manassas. As I say, it looked more cluttered, but it was a little bit more immersive. It was just a cosmetic thing, I suppose. But I did like it. Okay, so our 4 regiments and our commander are moving forward. Now, if I wanted him to get there as quickly as possible, I would use the commands down here, specifically for the leader. So as you can see, he's now running. That's a dry riverbed, so he will start to move. Yeah, you see he's moving a little bit slower through there There's a little bit more difficult terrain to traverse. Anyway, let's speed it up. Go to me. Now this does have multiplayer that was added in Gettysburg, and I have played multiplayer on Gettysburg, and I did have a good time, I must admit. The people that I played against were very helpful. They were very patient with me as well. And yeah, it was a good time. So I do recommend the multiplayer side of it. I must admit though, I'm more of a brigadier commander rather than a division or corps commander. But anyway, moving on roads. All of the previous movement commands have ignored roads. However, movement by road is faster than marching over fields or in woods. This is one of the nice things about this series of games, and this has been there since day one. Using roads is done this way. First select the commander, then click the destination, then the ending unit formation, and finally click the Use Roads button, which is this one here. This will cause all units to move to the nearest road and then follow roads until they are as close as is practical to the final destination. For longer road marches, now it tells you about speeding up the game and slowing it down. Okay, so just repeat that again. Select the commander, click on the destination, ending unit formation, and finally click the Use Roads. So let's just slow the game down. Now there should be a destination marker which I can't see. Seems to have disappeared. Anyway, so if we say here, and Use Roads. As you can see, our commander was starting to move across the general terrain, but is now moved back along the road, and you can see all these little markers showing the route on the road that he will take. We've got our final formation as column, which is the button I pressed there. Now if you don't like these little markers appearing, there is an option in the options to switch that off. No, I don't think the destination did pop up at this stage. But let's have a look at the map. Ah, there you go. That's the point we need to get to eventually. So let's go here. Pull back, there we are. So, we've got our Brigadier General selected, so if we just double click here, we say column and Use Roads. Now if we just go back to the map, you can see that our little wandering regiment is closer to the final destination, and he's going to arrive there first before the rest of our guys, which is fine. So if you do get this game and you're doing this first tutorial, don't worry about them. They will turn up eventually. Close that. And that is the 7th Indiana. Yes, that's right. You are getting, if you can hear it, you are getting marching music. Let's just get our guy to move at the front towards the front of the column. I seem to recall at least the first 2 games, your commander would automatically go to the front of the column. I have been meaning to do a video on this series of games for a long time. I did make a couple of attempts with 2nd Manassas, but I didn't like the end result. As you can see, that's quite a long way to go. I think he's trying to join up with the column. Whoops, she want to be there. I am there. Just to turn back on all the trees, etc. Let's just get rid of those. See, that's the 7th Indiana on their way. You can see on the fatigue marker it says they're getting tired, but by the time they get into their positions over here and waiting for the rest of the brigade to turn up, they should be nicely rested. Let's just speed this process up, actually speed them up as well, and actually let's go to me. Speed them up. You know, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than sort of ordering units and they just totally ignore the roads and just go straight from A to B. There is a purpose to having the roads because it's easier to travel, and it just looks good for a war game. I realise that some people may not be entirely into war games as such. Might be just sort of shrugging your shoulders and say, well, so what. But for people that really do like serious war games, it's a big deal. Here we go. Moving in woods, part 1. Woods or other rough terrain presents 2 problems. The first is that motion is slower than in open fields. The second is that visibility may be restricted. If you are confident that no enemy units are near, then moving in column formation will be fastest. If there are possible enemy units, using the skirmish formation while being slower will make rude surprise much less likely. Move your brigade to the objective off to your northeast. When you arrive, face the brigade to the north and hit the skirmish button. Use the right wheel or left wheel buttons as needed to adjust the facing of the brigade, so that the destination for the regiment deployed are skirmishers to the right of the road. Okay. Right, so where's the destination? There it is. So let's just line up with the compass down here. It says north. So let's get that lined up straight. Should have closed in on that. Okay, so they're all moving. Now if we just... whoops. You can see that it's a fair number of trees in this area. Let's just take it off. Now I will, on the notes on this video, give you the minimum and recommended system specs to run this, and also because I've ordered the hard copy, which includes the manual. Now, looking at the electronic version of the manual, it looks very, very similar to the printed version of Gettysburg. So if you already have Gettysburg and you're thinking about this, you're not bothered about having a disc, but you're a bit concerned about the manual. The printed manual, it looks to be based on the electronic version, the same as the printed one for Gettysburg. If it is very different, when I finally guess it, I'll make a note on this video as well in the comments. So if it's a lot smaller or anything, because you might be after the manual, but you're not bothered if it's only going to be a few pages. So let's just speed this up. Okay, it's not let me get to the stage of actually doing the skirmish position. So anyway, moving in woods part 2. First, allow your troops to get into their formation. Now we will use the keyboard command to move the entire formation in the direction it is currently facing. Hit the number 6 key on your main keyboard and the entire formation will advance 300 yards. Repeat as needed until the entire formation has moved through the woods in the clearing with the breastwork and shelter tents. Adjust your position to trigger the final objective. Now that's interesting because this is one of the things that isn't really, well, it might be lurking in the depths of the manual somewhere. I'm free to admit I've not read the manual entirely, but I've never seen or come across that before, which is hitting number 6 will advance you 300 yards, which is a useful command. Okay, so let's just get on my guy. Now, as you can see, let's do a negative. Let's start them in getting into skirmish. You can see the skirmish line is way over there. Now, I want my guy, my commander, to be basically in that direction, so still slightly over. That's it. Now, I've changed the direction of where my commander is facing, but the units are still facing in the original direction, and if I want them all, actually that's a little bit too far over to the left, if I want them all to now face in the direction my commander's facing, reissue the formation command. As you can see, they're all slightly moving. Yeah, let's speed them up. You can see by that far marker I'm a little bit over towards the right, but we'll sort that out. Let's get these. Oh, they're exhausted. So, which is good because they're exhausted, they're too tired to run, so it just ignores that command. So you have to click on the flags, you can't click on the units themselves to select them, you have to click on the flags. Should have said that a long time ago, actually. Okay, so this is the current skirmish line marker which they're just approaching. So if I hit the button 6, it should push the marker and all the other units 300 yards forward. And there we go. Now it should be that everyone is marching on. Yep. Let's get my guy moving right up to where he's meant to be. I realise this is probably not very exciting because it's just manoeuvres. The second tutorial, I believe, is a combat one for a brigade, and then there's artillery is the third one, and then the fourth one is commanding a division, which I will admit right now I am not very good at, but it's a tutorial. I do prefer brigade level. So let's just speed up the gameplay. Bring back all the trees online. Let's bring the speed down and get rid of everything. Okay, everyone seems to be in position. Let's do another number 6. Speed everyone up. As always with these types of games, it's pretty much a niche market, and it's a very small development team. Okay. Speed everybody up. Trying to get them to march forward. Okay, finishing up. This is the end of the first tutorial. You are encouraged to repeat this tutorial as often as you like, and to practice the various moves and formations until you are comfortable moving your troops. Practice here is free. The lessons will be more expensive in troops when the bullets are flying. And that is the end of the tutorial. I'm sorry if it wasn't that exciting, but it is the basics, and it will get a little bit more exciting with the following tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching.